Well, the Houston Astros are now only 4.5 games in front of the Seattle Mariners. Are we worried? I'm absolutely not worried. The Astros got it all under control. Let's talk about it on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talks Astros. You find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on X and on Facebook, and at Back to the Bullpen on YouTube, on iHeart, on Instagram, and on X. I'm always positive, always Stros.
Guys, thank you for making us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and become an everydayer. Somebody listens to our podcast. If you didn't have to work today, you got to listen to Michael Connor on Locked On Astros podcast as well. Go and check them out and go ahead and make us your first listen and subscribe to us. And thank you for doing that as well. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use the code, all lowercase, LockedOnMLB to win $50 instantly when you play $5. Go do it today. It's really fun. What's not fun is actually watching the Astros play right now. I'm glad it was a game where I was at school. One of my students in 7th period said, "Oh, Mr. Huysman, the Astros lost." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot it was an early game today." And I looked at the score. I'm like, 1-0. 1-0. And Hunter Brown did good. The Astros could barely get anything going in this game, in this series. And I'm going to talk about a word the Astros lacked in this series in a second.
Oh, a word, something they lacked. Cojones. I'm checking hits. Look, you had Hunter Brown go out there and do his job. And the offense absolutely fell flat. This is just a classic case of your offense not supporting your pitcher. This should have been an Astros win. The Reds did only have 6 hits, and Ty France should never see another strike the rest of his career as a hitter, because he was he was 7 for 9, I think, against the Astros in this series. He was 2 at-bats away from being perfect.
He got 9 hits in this series. Yes.
Oh, 9 hits. Okay. So if he only got out twice, he's 9 for 11. Basically, he's batting like 875 or some ridiculous clip. Yeah. You give him the Barry Bonds treatment. You give him the Yordan Alvarez treatment. Never pitched to Ty France, never pitched to Mitch Haniger, never pitched to, do I need to go down the list? Albert Pujols. I mean, there are just certain guys you just don't pitch to if you're playing against them. Right now, I wouldn't mind pitching to Adolis Garcia, but I wouldn't pitch to Adolis Garcia if I was in a close game. But what are you going to do? I mean, you get swept by the Reds. They're not a great team. We haven't beat them since 2016. And someone asked, well, how in the heck do the Reds have our number? I don't know. They just do. I think it's a complete anomaly. I don't think one win, one loss is connected to, I don't think a 2016 loss is connected to a 2024 loss. It just happens. And, this team is not going to go out there and win every single game. I even saw people on some of these Facebook groups saying Spencer Arrighetti needs to go back to the minor leagues. Come on, man. This dude just won pitcher rookie of the month and has been dealing. I remember when Hunter Brown, he had that. We talked about it last night, that 1 inning in his season turnaround. This is going to happen. These pitchers are going to have a hiccup, but the offense can't afford to not show up the way they did today. And that's really why they lost. You can't blame the pitching. You even can't blame the Abreu solo shot. Yes, he gave up the only run, but had the offense put up 2 runs, you win this game 2-1. So it's just one of those games, Eric.
Yes. So a lot of people are like, well, how can you not win a game against the Reds in so much time? Well, you don't play them a lot. You played them last year. You got swept last year at Minute Maid Park, and you got also swept at I think at whatever you call that ballpark in Cincinnati.
Great American Ballpark.
Great Mall, yeah, in 2019. So you don't play them a lot. So the last time you beat them was in 2016 because you don't play them a lot. So you lost the last 9 games. And so I know it doesn't matter at the end of the day, as you like to say, we're not going to face them in a World Series. This is not going to be something that's going to affect them. The only thing it does put them back a little bit. And like the Mariners they haven't gotten hot, but they've won a couple games. And what the Astros lacked in this series was synergy. That's the big word I wanted to use, was synergy. You had in the first game, you had Justin Verlander just totally implode in the early game and totally set a bad energy, so where the offense could not catch up. So the pitching did bad in that game, and then the offense tried to catch up, and they couldn't. And then in the second game, you had Spencer Arrighetti just totally implode, and the pitching couldn't do its job. And then the offense tried to do its job, but by that time, it was just too much. And then the defense gave up on it. In today's game, the pitching did its job. Just like you said, it wasn't Bryan Abreu's fault. The offense decided, yeah, we're going to take the day off. We'll go ahead and see you guys in Minute Park. We'll go ahead and wait for that Hunter Green backdrop, and we'll go ahead and hit some balls down there. But the synergy just wasn't there. You got to have a complete team victory, and that's what the Astros did not do in this series. And you can't blame it just on the pitching. You can't blame it on hitting. This was defense too. This was all around bad sweep.
It was. You definitely don't want to go on the road and get swept like this, especially the Reds. And you're, like you talked about, you had the starting pitchers, you had the horses in the barn to start this game off well. But let me tell you, I hope that word synergy comes to me, Eric, because I want to make a little announcement here, because this is actually kind of a cool thing that literally came out of nowhere. And I sent you a text message about it today. My day started off really crappy because I was in a dentist chair for like 4.5 hours. Okay. So that's never a good day. And I was like, man, I hope this day doesn't suck. Literally halfway through the procedure, I just they were giving me a break to set me up a little bit. I opened up X. I was looking through, and I saw that my DMs, I got like a notification. I went in and I got a DM from Jose Canseco, like the real Jose Canseco, the guy that started the whole steroid controversy, one of the Bash brothers, a guy that I grew up idolizing. Him and Mark McGwire. I was a big Bash Brothers fan growing up. He sent me an invite. He apparently is having a charity home run derby in Sugar Land, and I'm assuming it's at Constellation Field. He invited me to be a part of it. That's unreal. And I said, I can't promise you I can hit home runs, but I can definitely come and show up and have fun. And I said, I got a really cool story to share you about a batting practice home run that I tried to catch barehanded when I was 14, and it almost broke my hand. He said, that sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So I sent his manager my information. When I get more information about it, I'll let you guys know. I'd love to have everybody come out. I don't know who else is going to show up, but I've never been invited to a celebrity event as one of these celebrities. I thought that was really cool. So my day just got better from there. And then I had dinner with my daughter, my grandson tonight. So I really care less about this 1-0 loss. Life is good for me.
Yeah. And it could get better because the Astros are playing a good team, and they seem to play better against good teams like the Diamondbacks. Yeah. And Diamondbacks are on a hot streak right now, and their record is what? They are 70. I saw it earlier. They're 79 and 62 right now. So they're playing red hot baseball, and they're trying. I don't know if they're going to overtake the Dodgers, but they're definitely fighting for that wild card.
Yeah,
and so we'll see what happens in this series, because you don't think you're going to sweep the Royals and then you sweep them. You think you're going to sweep the Reds and then you get swept. So it's like Katy Perry. You're hot and you're cold. You're yes and you're no. You never know what to expect. And it's baseball. And that's, somebody's put that in comment earlier. It's baseball. You never know what you get, but that's what worries me about this team. And like going into the playoffs, if they make me, I'm assuming they're going to make it at this point. 4.5 games, that's not a guaranteed win by any means. I told y'all, don't sleep on the Mariners. The Mariners have at least one more run. I'm not saying they're going to come back and catch the Astros, but We'll go and continue this conversation in a second. Guys, thanks for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, and we'll be back.
This episode is brought to you by Ibotta sandals, sunscreen, snacks for the kids. That is what you have to get this summer. And if you're wondering why I talk about these, well, because when you buy products and you use the Ibotta app, you get money back for your purchases. I mean, why wouldn't you want to go shopping and get paid at the same time? It's a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. That can cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, the flight you've been eyeing, or a fancy dinner you've been craving. Other apps just give you points. They don't amount to much. I mean, you can shop 2,400 brands and over 1,000 retailers in places like Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. So it's time you join the over 50 million users who use Ibotta to earn cash back every time you shop. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 for trying Ibotta by using the code LOCKEDONMLB. When you register, just go to the App Store and Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app. Start earning cash back and use the code LOCKEDONMLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button down there. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out. Go ahead and watch us on your Amazon Fire TV stick. All you have to do is just search the free channels app, find baseball, and just look for our smiling faces, and you can go and watch us on your big screen wherever you want to watch us. This is definitely going to be a tough series coming up, and the Astros tend to rise to the occasion sometimes and kind of play down to the competition. I'm not saying the Reds don't have a exciting young team, but when I can't even say anything about waiver claims because the Astros have done a lot of successful waiver claims, but Ty France was a waiver claim. And so, the Reds are a team that's on the verge. They still need a couple young guys to start to hit more. I know Steer and Friedel and a couple guys are potential good players down the road. But De La Cruz, this guy is a superstar in the making once he figures it all out. He's still young. He's still got he probably develops some more power. The speed is legitimately there. But this team overall, this can be scary down the road. They're a little bit better last year. They came back down to earth a little bit. But the National League is where the majority of the talent is, I think, at this point. But American League, there's still a lot of talent. And if you look at the ESPN power rankings right now, the Astros moved up from number 10 to number 7. So we're moving on up. Hopefully that's before the Red Series or after.
Are we still behind the Diamondbacks? Because
I closed it.
Last time I saw we were behind them. But again, if you look at the line for the pitchers, 6 innings by Hunter Brown, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Abreu, 2 hits, 1 earned run, a home run. Ferguson, 1 inning pitched, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. There were only 2 walks, Eric. There were 8 strikeouts. You would think, and only giving up 1 run. Oh yeah, that's a game you win. This is the Houston Astros. It just didn't happen. And Kyle Tucker, I believe, is going to be coming back this series. Is that the spark they need to get the fire started? Look, it's not necessarily that they need to get a fire started. It's that they need to start a fire and keep it going because they seem to get red hot. Kind of like, I guess I compare it to these flash fires. Okay. A flash fire is something that happens really quickly. It flares up, it burns out, and it burns out really quick, right? They need a sustained fire. They need a sustained flame. And if this team can hit a sustained stride at the right time going to the playoffs, it's not going to matter because we were just talking a few days ago about how this Royals sweep was a statement series and everybody else was too. Now, everybody wants to jump off of that bandwagon and say, oh, see, I told you we suck. Look, if you're going to go as every single win and loss goes, you're never going to be satisfied. And I tell you who's not worried about this right now, the Houston Astros. Now, do they believe they should have won the series? 100%. Are they pissed off? 100%. But what is getting mad about it going to do? What is grumbling about it going to do? Absolutely nothing. That's our job. We're fans. We're fanatics. That's why we talk about it so much. But at the end of the day, I still like where the Astros are. I still I don't think the Rangers have a shot in where to get up to second place and fight for first. I really still do not believe in the Mariners. And if the Mariners show up and if the Mariners last minute take over the Astros, I will be 100% shocked, Eric. I really don't believe in what they have going for them because of the way they've been all season long. The Astros have shown flashes of greatness down the stretch where the Mariners simply really have not.
Right. And like Taylor Swift would say, the Astros are 22. They have 22 games left in the season. And so they've got to figure out a way to close it out.
Are
and
you in a fake relationship with her like Travis Kelce? Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, apparently it came out that her and Travis Kelce, now I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but there's papers that people showed that they had a contract to have a relationship for like a year to help boost his popularity because he wants to get into movies and stuff. And so she's actually at the game tonight, but I think they might have one of these faux relationships. Interesting, huh?
Okay. All right. Interesting. I did not know that. I don't follow her that much. And so anyway,
you're a Swiftie.
I like her songs. I'm not a big Swiftie, but anyway, so
there you go.
Yeah, so moving on, the Astros have 22 games left. They need to take care of business, and I know the Diamondbacks are a big, tough matchup, but the Astros have a whole bunch of other games after that, and so they've got to take care of business, and they're going to do it without Ronel Blanco at least through this turn of the rotation. And you have what they're going to do is they're going to have another stretch of 16 games where they're going to have no days off. So that's when Ronel Blanco will come back into the rotation, but they'll probably have him as a long man at some point. But this is just a way to conserve his innings. And so we'll see what happens. But I'm not concerned. The Mariners are 4.5 games. They did win today, so they are 4.5 games behind us. So I knew that the Mariners would have a surge. That's why I said don't count them out. But it's up to the Astros at this point to withstand the surge. The Astros have done a great job so far. Now it's about doing it from this point on, and they've got to have more consistent hitting, getting Kyle Tucker back. And Joe Espada did say that there's a possibility that he could be activated as soon as tomorrow. So whether that actually happens or not, we don't know. We're still trying to fill out our squares about when he's coming back and everything. But Kyle Tucker would be a big boost to this team. But what Kyle Tucker are we getting? Are we getting somebody that's not ready for live game action? Because like I said, other teams aren't going to be like, oh, he's coming back without any rehab. Let's go and take it easy on him.
No, that's never going to happen. This is the pros. It's big boys. That's why we're the big boy pants. That's why we put the women and children back. We're going looking for dinner, boys. But seriously, with Kyle Tucker, I don't understand why they would bring him back if he's not 100%. If he can't play the field and he can only DH, there's no point in bringing him back. There's no point of rushing. Again, they've done a majority of this. They've done all of this winning, Eric, and getting where they are without him. So there's no need to bring him back for optics or to make the fans happy. Who cares what we think? I want the team to do what's best for the team and what's best for Kyle Tucker. So because if you were to rush him back, which I don't think they would, you have potential of getting him hurt and then not even being available for the playoffs. Then you got egg on your face. So it's just one of those things where if he comes back, I think it's that he's at 100%. And I would be surprised if he wasn't playing right field as well hitting. Hopefully when we get Myers back, he'll be filled with that dad energy and he'll be able to do some more damage in the outfield with his glove and with his bat. But look, hey man, you got to tip your hat to Chaz. Since he came back, he was hitting the ball. He can't do it all himself, but he actually was contributing. Every guy on this team, no matter what day it is, no matter what the lineup is, they have to contribute.
Oh, by the way, there was a roster move before today's game, and Jake Myers was not in Cincinnati. The Astros did not need him, but we had Cesar Salazar and Forrest Whitley were optioned back down to AAA, and Jake Myers and Nick Martinez were promoted up to the Astros. So
Right.
Chas McCormick was given a second chance, and he took advantage of it. And so he is going to be up here. So Cesar Salazar, it made a lot of sense,
Wow, that
especially
was
if you're going to have. Yeah, if you're going to have Diaz play some first base, it made sense to have the extra catcher up here. But this is the move for now. So we'll see what happens once Kyle Tucker comes back. Are you going to need all these outfielders? Are you going to need Chas McCormick, Jake Myers, and everybody else? So the Astros will probably be playing musical chairs for a little bit. So we're going to continue this conversation. How good was Hunter Brown? How good has he been? Who is he being compared with in terms of rookie status? So we'll go and talk about, I know he's not really a rookie anymore, but which rookie is he being compared to? So we'll go and continue this conversation next.
This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Myself and Eric play this game. We love it. And what you do is you pick more or less than 2 to 6 player projection and watch the money roll in. That's right. It's not you against millions of people or thousands of people. It's you against the numbers. You can play alongside guys like Drewski, Dro Boobin, MMA champ, Sugar Shane O'Malley, and so many more in the community plays. Promos tab has entries and new promos pretty much every single day. PrizePicks puts their members first with withdrawals that are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. You have all kinds of stat types and projections. Now, I can tell you this. Download PrizePicks today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB. You'll get instantly a $50 just infusion into your account when you play $5. That's right. The code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks gets you $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. Run your game.
This is Walker Yannick. You're listening to Locked On Astros podcast.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and make us your first listen. Become every day or somebody listens to our podcast every day. So thank you for listening to us. And I know that the Astros couldn't be where they are without Hunter Brown. How good is Hunter Brown? Since May 1st, Paul Skeens has a 2.13 ERA. Chris Sale, everybody thought Chris Sale was dead. He has a 2.18 ERA. Hunter Brown has a 2.30 ERA. So Hunter Brown has been doing it. At this point, you can almost say that he is one of the big three. He is part of the big three, or maybe even the big two with Framber Valdez at this point. I think Justin Verlander is still in spring training mode. He's trying to get back into the big three. I think Kikuchi is auditioning still for the big three, but he's looking the part. So we'll see what Joe Spada chooses for the playoff rotation. But it's good to have options. We've gone to playoffs before where we haven't had any starting pitching, and it sucks. So to be where we are, it's good. But Hunter Brown, he did everything he could do in this game. He went out there and threw 6 innings, only 4 hits allowed, 1 walk, no runs, 0 means 6 strikeouts, and I guess 0 home runs. But he lowered his ERA to 3.41. This dude had a 9-something ERA at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just amazing around that he's had.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, but him, Framber Valdez was up and down to start. Ronel Blanco just started on fire. I mean, surface of the sun type of heat, and he's cooled off. Eric Getty has really done well. I mean, outside of this last 9-run, 2/3 of an inning he had. Before that, he was everybody's favorite rookie pitcher. Now everybody's like, I told you he's not going to make the playoff roster because of 1 start. And I'm like, good Lord, like everybody jumping on and off these bandwagons, like it's got to be exhausting. I tell you right now, like I purposely don't day trade because I would drive myself nuts watching the stocks. But I've learned not to be a day trader when it comes to baseball. And this is what I mean by that. You cannot hang on every single win and every single loss. You cannot get so frustrated and so upset that you post something like, oh, Arrighetti needs to go to AAA because he's proven that he's not playoff ready. What do you mean he's proven he's not playoff ready? What are you talking about? Hunter Brown came in late in the season. And yeah, he was performing well, but he was a rookie. And when he was doing well, nobody said, well, he's a rookie, he won't be effective in the playoffs. We don't know that. And if Spencer Arrighetti earns his stripes and he gets there and Justin Verlander doesn't, look, more than likely Justin Verlander's in that rotation regardless, Eric. I think Justin Verlander would have to fall at the face of the pitching earth for him not to be there because of pecking order, because of seniority, so on and so forth. But if we're being honest and objective about Justin Verlander, he hasn't been great in the playoffs lately. He just hasn't. He doesn't have a great track record. Is he a guy that I want to go to on the mound and trust? 100%. Does he have the experience? Absolutely. Is he going to be in the Hall of Fame? 100%. But it's, what are you doing for me lately now? And if 2 or 3 guys go in there, Eric, that are hotter than him, you're going to put priority because of longevity of career and status post-career over getting a guy in there that is in midseason form and killing it. That, to me, is the real chess match. And as long as the Astros go out the rest of these series, take 2 of 3, take these series, don't have to sweep any series, just go out there and win, everything will work out. Just stay in front of the Mariners. It's going to be fine. I do want to see where Verlander is in a few weeks.
Right. I think you're going to see a much different Verlander. Is he going to still struggle like he does occasionally in playoffs? Like the equation I talked about before in the playoffs is he has one good start, then he'll come out and have a bad one. The next one, he'll have a good start. So that's the type of playoff pitcher that Verlander has been in the past. But 22, this episode is brought to you by 22. Rhett Lauder was 22 years old, and he came out and took care of business. And you called it on yesterday's podcast. He's like, you're like, yeah, watch this kid who's basically making it's not his debut, but he's has only so many starts. But this came out and limited the Astros. The Astros only had 4 hits in the whole game, and you had Gamble get to third base. That was the only person getting scoring position, but otherwise it just was a frustrating game, and you can get the big hit. Joe Spada said they played great defense in this game, but nothing went well in this series. No. The synergy was not there. So hopefully they go to Minute Park. They see the Hunter Green backdrop, and they're like, hey, you can hit the ball again. Let's hit.
Wow.
It's good.
It's a magic of the Hunter Green. Okay, so yesterday's show, I don't know why I said it, but I said Lauder was from LSU. He actually went to Wake Forest. He was a number 7 overall pick. He's number 34 in the top 100. He's the Reds' second ranked prospect. So this guy has done it. And the Astros, just for whatever reason, don't do well against rookie pitchers or people they haven't seen very often. There was the moment in the game where you had guys on first and third. Victor Caratini gets up, hits into a double play. That will kill a rally. That's an inning that Caratini should have put a ball in the outfield, a deep fly ball, not even a home run, a sac fly. You tie it up. We go to extra innings. More than likely, you can go out there and win it. I trust our bullpen over their bullpen, minus Bryan Abreu right now. Bryan Abreu, dude, I was looking at his stats this year compared to the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. Oof, they are glaring. Last year, 72 games. He had 100 strikeouts. He had a whip of 104, and he had an ERA of 175. This year, he's doubled his ERA at 349 with 92 strikeouts, so 8 less strikeouts. His whip is not that bad at 1.28, but he's just, for whatever reason, he's just not getting it. I don't know if the game plan is inferior or if the location. Well, I mean, obviously, if you played a fastball, it's location. But what is the game plan going in? He's not fooling anybody. Right. Ty France wasn't being fooled. He was jumping on everything. And so at some point, though, you would think after the 4th or 5th batter, like a Spencer Arrighetti, you would maybe see him make some adjustments. And some days the other guys just got your number. But the Astros can't afford to do that against the Diamondbacks. They need to come home. They need to win this series.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I know that Ryan Presley has not been the same, but the bullpen has rebounded a little bit recently. But like you said, I said earlier, this game is not on Bryan Abreu. He has struggled recently, but this game is not on him. This is on the offense not being able to score any runs off a rookie pitcher who's 22 years old. Yes, he was a third round pick or top pick or whatever it was, but this is somebody that you should be able to take advantage of him just being drafted last year. So sometimes the talent is there, like Paul Skeens, he can go out there and dominate any team. But I think the Astros should have just done better in this series overall. But
100%.
the Diamondbacks are coming to town, and you can't look past them. You've got to play Astros baseball, and it starts tomorrow. I know that they're having the big donation where you can buy all the stuff, and so they're gonna have where you can buy the big charity game. That's what it's called. But it's going to be Brandon Paff. I never know how to say his name. PFADDT. But versus Framber Valdez. But so this Valdez just got to go out there and just get the job done, and he's just got to dominate. He's 13-6 with a 3.11 ERA, and so the Diamondbacks are red hot. They're third in the NL West.
They're not exactly red hot. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They just lost against the Giants today, so they have cooled off a little bit. So I would take a 4-6 Diamondbacks against the Astros. They are 39-41 with teams over 500, and away they actually are the same as they are on the road. So I think the Astros get this done with Framber. I think the offense shows up and wakes up, and we see fireworks more than just after the game, during the game. But
it's actually Brandon Pfaadt. I had to look that up.
There you
Brandon
go.
Pfaadt.
Brandon Pfaadt. Brandon's going to fight tomorrow night and lose because Framber Valdez is going to crush it. And so is the offense.
So Pfaadt was actually a top prospect with the Diamondbacks. So he's actually had a pretty decent year. So the upside is pretty high with him. So the Astros just got to go out there and play Astros baseball, play great defense, score some runs, and pitch great. And if you can do that, have the synergy there, you can beat any team. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. So that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We will see you either tomorrow or we'll see you on Sunday night. And go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and make us your first listen, and we will see you later. And go Astros.
Go Astros.
No comments?
No, you went robotic on us. Freak me out.